We're gonna put out the old Jamie specials. The old spoon dog, his last pass widgeon, last pass gadwall. So, and then we've got a Eurasian in there. So yeah, we're gonna get her out there. Good boy, Bubba. That's a good boy. Oh, it's getting serious. Hey Vince, does all this smartweed come up naturally or do you gotta plant it? That's awesome. Yeah, that's hard to beat. Good boy. Go boy. Vince, look at the ducks over the trees there to your left. Piling out. Hey Jamie, be ready to kill that.
Yeah, you know, I've been doing this stuff with Final Approach for, gosh, maybe around 5 years now. I've done several different decoys. And one thing is, you know, it's nice to get to do a hobby that you enjoy and people appreciate your work. But it's just I don't know, it's hard to describe. It's a very fulfilling type hobby. And I enjoy watching other people, you know, enjoy what I've done. And, you know, it's just a blessing to me. I like it a lot.
Somebody's making pillows over there. All those boot lips, no drakes. Yeah. The back one's a drake, kill him. You good there? Yeah, that gives me a good bit more room.
So we drove up and, you know, I'd heard like, yeah, this is a lodge and, you know, or we'll call it a hunt camp, you know, so it came up, going to a hunt camp and pull up and really it's a lodge. I mean, this is a fantastic place, a giant building, great locker setup, food, the whole spectacular. You walk in, you know, you see the animals on the walls and you're like, oh my gosh, that's an elephant, that's a rhinoceros, you know, so.
I was kind of taken aback because I said, holy cow, I mean, I'm in the middle of nowhere, or it appears to be, and look at this giant building here. And that is dedicated to duck hunting, you know, waterfowl hunting. And I said, man.
Sitting with Jamie Welsh, who has carved all the birds that we're sitting here with, and more, but we wanted to kind of, you know, talk a little shop about the birds once we, you you know, got them. Obviously, this is the fan favorite. People go, and this one's been abused up here. So it has been through both of these have been hunted hard. But we got two poses on the spoonies, the shovelers. We have the high head and obviously the surface feeder. And I mean, just talk about like doing it. Cause I mean, had you ever done a shoveler before?
I've done a shoveler once before.
Okay.
And so it was new. I've got a couple of dead shovelers in my duck freezer, so I had some reference.
Sure.
And then, you know, I use a study bill. These are life size. I use a study bill.
You have to on this because like the little teeth here, like I mean the detail right here on the teeth. I mean that's a spoonie right there, right? And of course, you know the bill, you see it, but you know we wanted to make sure, you know, we did justice on the paint too, because this color here, and this blue.
Yeah, the colors.
Man,
spot on.
I mean, it is a tough bird to get this right. You know what I mean? Get that, and that blue is such a different blue. You know what I mean? It's not a blue-winged teal blue. It's close, but it's not. So,
you know, when you carve a duck like this, you want to make sure, you know, that feather doesn't necessarily have to be popping out like that when he's swimming around, but you want to make sure you carve it so that it does appear. Sometimes you do the same thing with a secondary, but those tertial feathers need to be there.
yeah.
But yeah, you know, we did two just common spoony poses, you know.
No doubt.
Swimmer and the feeder.
Right. I mean, listen, when you see them, they're service feeding. I mean, that's that bird. Like they are service feeding hard. They're usually, sometimes they're stealing stuff from widgeon and whatever. Like they're just at it. You know what I mean? So that bill is just a shovel for sure. So that's the northern shovelers that Jamie did. Those are the two poses. We do those in 6-packs, and then we kind of went and threw a different project on you. Because we're just seeing a trend of price point volume decoys. Right. And we have the last pass mallards, which are smaller mallards. Like obviously you can see the size. I mean, a spoonbill is not a giant bird by any stretch, right? But you could see the size, like that's what we were going for. But this is like, so this is the last pass widgeon, and this is like a price point, but we did the same colors that we did on the live. Mm-hmm. Like this decoy, I mean, it is what it is. Like look at all the detail in the side. I mean, you still have all the feather detail, the great detail in the face and in that. I mean,
yeah, I didn't skimp on any of the detail at all. You know, it's a small bird, but
sure,
you still want all that stuff in there when you see it in hand.
Well, you know, we tried to make sure we did all the right colors back here. You know, I mean, it's still packing a punch for a little bird, right? Yep. But we got all the colors. Like we didn't cheat out the colors. Right. You know what I mean? There. Yeah. And this is the Eurasian, which we sell.
I really like that one. He came out really well.
Man, we sell a pile of them internationally in Europe, but also guys on the West. You know, I see some. The Washington guys see a bunch. So, you know, that's the last pass widgeon. Then we go to the gadwall, and the gray ducks, like you gotta, I mean, this is nailed. Like that head and bill is nailed.
Yeah, they're difficult to do. And doing the texturing on the breast was a bit of a challenge. And then the head, just to make sure it's proportional on a reduced size duck. You know, you have to keep all that into account.
But all this, that's a gadwall. Like it's so hard on a smaller bird. Like we had to go you had to go way smaller scale. Right. You know, I knew what we needed to do, but you still nailed like everything on here. And I mean, when you look at that just screams, you know, gray duck.
Yep.
So that's the last pass gadwall. Then we go to a project which was one of my favorites, and that was the lessers. And we got two different versions. We have the fully flocked and the painted, but we wanted to do one piece. Mm-hmm. We wanted to do a true size lesser, and you know, I loved going through pictures of the lessers. Like I was like jazzed. I was like this, because I see them all the time, right? I mean, I hunt them a lot in the West, and I see them a lot, and I see this pose. You know what I mean? I see it. I see that. Like we wanted to do it right, and you like killed it for sure.
As always, we worked really close together on what poses we wanted and what attitude we wanted the head and the neck to have.
Yep.
You know, so Yeah, I think that collaboration worked out really well.
Well, I mean, everything, I mean, even right here, you know, even with the flocking, you see all the detail in the neck, right? I mean, look at it, it just pops, right? Sun hits it, you see that flocking, and you could see that neck.
And it has a sheen to it as well that looks really natural.
Sure, the flocking gives it a killer. And then listen, the side pockets and just the way that, like, obviously this bird you can see, you know, you can see the back of the bird and the way it sits as far as, you know, upright and a feeder. You know, we have space under the tail here. We talked about that, like on the feeder. Right. You know, on the upright, all the wingtips are down. And when he starts stretching and feeding, you know, you get that air under there, so you nailed that part. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know if people even see that or even notice that. You know, but I know about it, and I know, like, when you go, there's space under there. Like when he stretches out, that's what he does. So I mean that part of it, and obviously we paint a ton of Canada geese and the flocking too. But the factory is
paint looks great.
Everything they dial it in pretty good. So we're pretty happy on that, and it's a different color than the honker. You know what I mean? It is a different bird. You see a different color in it. So we made sure we did that, and that's the live lessers. And we got them in painted, and we got them in fully flocked, and we got the motion system in it, and the zero gravity motion cone, so they move and they'll go side to side. And the good thing about it is they also bob front and back, especially on the feeders. Like, it looks killer. So I mean, in my rig at home, like, that's all I have. Good. I have fully flocked, and I just have the lessers. I have a couple honkers, but that's my main goal. So this is Jamie Welsh and all his, well, not all of them, but most of them. Like, we still have more, but that's like the couple things we were using here this week. And like I said, something that I use all the time. So, man, we appreciate it, and the stuff looks
Oh, thank you.
Killer.
Great team, great group to work with. I've enjoyed every bit of it.
Awesome. Appreciate you.
To more.
Yeah, bud, appreciate it. What's up? It's Mario from Final Approach. A big part of our success harvesting all the waterfowl species on the road is because of our great partner, Federal Ammunition. The variety of payloads, the shot sizes, the speeds we can adapt to changing weather conditions or different situations that maybe call for something different, like if we're shooting 20 gauge speed shock at mallards in the marsh or crows and pigeons in Europe, how about 3-inch black cloud at some big honkers in a cornfield? Or some TSS at some giant prehistoric sandhill cranes in the flatlands. Federal has an ammo to make your days in the field more successful. So all you got to do is check them out. Federalpremium.com. It's Federal Ammunition. Bird's working right now. We were out this morning, super cold. We only shot a couple, so we packed it in, came back out today, and we're about to kill another. Oh! Yeah, so add another drake to that. So we're just chipping away at them. Super clear out, super sunny, like awesome. The birds look incredible, and just picking green as we go. So we got the guys from Federal, Dan and Matt, Jamie Welsh, one of our carvers. So we're just chipping away in Missouri in the cold. So we get back to it and stack up the green here as we go. So let's go.
I've never duck hunted a lot. I have a good bit, but not any lately. But when I did duck hunt, it was mostly, you know, like in a cypress pond or something like that in South Georgia, maybe in the middle of a river in Alabama, and you see ducks come in. But this afternoon, and it was exactly like Vince said it would be, the ducks were going to be coming in, and they were everywhere. These drakes?
Yeah. One
Close on the left.
left.
Go ahead, guys. You know, you work you work on that decoy for 2 or 3 months, and when you finish it up, it doesn't even really look like a decoy, just because it's carved, it's different pieces of wood maybe, and then to actually get to see it, the decoy itself is great. But this is the first time I got to see one on the water being shot over, and it was awesome. I never experienced it before, and I will remember it. It's just great, super.
What's the two coming in there? Looks like. Yeah, nice and clean.
Shot, buddy.
You can tell that there's a lot of detail that's gone into it to make as good of a hunting experience, and that the family here is very passionate about what they do, and that they're living and breathing this every day, and it definitely shows in the facilities that we're hunting out of. There's nothing better than watching ducks come in and work and do like what they're supposed to, when you set up and do it right. And sometimes you're just scratching your head like, what are we doing wrong? And everything, it really just seems like over the course of the day, everything happened exactly how we planned it, and it was perfect. And we had a relatively, I'd even call it a brief hunt, but it was definitely fun.
I've always loved seeing a duck come in and set his wings and sit on the water. I mean, even if you don't shoot. But I know it's an excitement that you haven't experienced if you like to hunt. It's just hard to describe as well. It's just really gets me pumped up, that's for sure.
So how to sum up the trip so far? I haven't shot a hen.